Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This lesson is just based on a video I was watching from the elder apostle Tahar, um, going into a video that Vocab had done about the the hair of Yahushai, or being wool, and a being that a vocab is that deceiver or liar, that what he's set up to be. The scriptures say what it says. The scriptures say that. Well, let me just get into it. This is Revelation chapter 1 and 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And this is describing um, the appearance of Yahushai. How the hair on his head looked, and how his beard looked. The appearance of it, not only was it white, but it was white, woolly, and it was so white it was white like snow. So his hair was white and woolly, both the color and the texture. So let me just jump into this, because this word here is I'm going to go into the Greek here, and the under the tools here, it gives you the Greek translation. And basically, under the Strong's number, it gives you the information about the word and how it's used. So here we have, let me go down to here, his hairs, which is G2359, and strix, or yeah, it's a noun for hairs. You understand? You can click that. You can click this this little circular button here under the Strong's number. It'll give you information about the word. It's a noun, nominative, plural, feminine, and you can click on each one of these, and it'll give you a description of what it means. It says a noun is a word denoting anything that can be named, usually an object, person, place, idea, or action. And so the hairs is an object, and it's an object on the person, and it's nominative, and the nominative case refers to the case used for a noun or pronoun when it is the subject of a verb. So basically, it's the name of that object, pretty much. You have but going into the word nominative, it goes back to nomen, which is name, where you also have nomen omen, which is name prediction. So this is pretty much the name of what the hair is, and it's plural because it's talking about hairs, multiple hairs, not just one. But yeah, so continuing on, the hairs, and also in the Greek, it's similar to English, but because you have a lot of words that have been like scientific words, and things like that are like transliterations of Greek words or Latin words. So we still use Greek today, even though in English, which is a bastard tongue, we don't really consider um, these words having any other meaning, or the the words. We don't consider anything about the words here in America or in English. So a lot of these words that we still find today that are from ancient Greek or whatnot. But we have here leukos, which was white, which is an adjective. So it's describing the hair. So the hair were white. So an adjective is is a word, phrase, or clause that describes another noun or pronoun, and an adjective must agree with its noun or pronoun in gender, number, and case. So basically, the noun, this thing or the adjective has to agree with that noun, Drix. So his hairs were white. Okay, like, and here is Jose G5616, an adverb, which as soon as this thing wants to load, now it does. Now it doesn't want to do anything. Anyway, I'll come back to this. So you have like or Jose, and you gotta forgive me, my Greek isn't that strong. It's G5616, and I'll just stop loading. Okay, bear with me. Let me pause this for a second. Or all right. So this is Strong's G5616 Jose or Jose, which is a compound word, which is Has, which means here we go, as, like, or even, and then I or he is if. So it's like saying like or as if or like as. So let me go back to this. So this Jose, as it were, or had been, as though, as, like, so, and then about, nearly. So it's basically saying it's his hair was white as snow, or slack as let me go back and just read it. Said Revelation 1:14, his head and his hairs were white like wool. So it's saying it's white and as if it was wool. So describing the texture of his hair as if it were wool. So let me go back to that. It says an adverb is a word, phrase, or clause that modifies the meaning of a verb, adjective, or other adverb. For example, when we had sailed slowly many days. So it's adding to that description. So it's saying it's like as if it was wool, describing that texture. Just remember that, and I might go back and read because it says an adverb, as it were, or had been, as though, as like. So as if it were wool, describing that woolly texture. So let me get this here. G2053 Arion, which is a noun. You know, it's describing what it is. Wool. It's like wool. The hair of a lamb. And here you see that word Haas, which I went into just a second ago. and it says, white like snow. So it's describing the color of it. Snow. You see snow. The different. I've never. I've seen snow, but not like been into. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I have. I have seen snow. So a snow in person is like really white. Almost like the background of this screen, the background of this website. But it just means like. So let me get this here. As like, even as. So it's not this here isn't describing his hair is literally snow. It's saying it's white like that. And the previous one, a white like wool, is describing it as it's like just like wool. It was white in color and it was looked just like wool. So woolly hair, what is that? That's like an afro. You have a whole group of people that have woolly hair, and Lord willing, I can get into the little Wikipedia article that I found because uh, it was a little interesting to read. But this is John 14:9. Or I'll start at verse 8. John 14:8. Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. And Yahushua saith unto him, Have I been so long time, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me? Philip, he that seen me has seen the Father, and how sayest thou then, show us the Father? So let's see here. Let's go to this word 14, or show, because even in Revelation, John was seeing this. He was seeing Yahushua in the candlestick. Like he wasn't, a lot of these different things, like, oh, it was symbolic, it was metaphorical, it was this, it was that. Like he's literally seeing this though. He's literally seeing Yahushua though. So he's seeing him with his own eyes. He had been with him. But this is G1166 Daiknyo, which is a prolonged form, though, to show, literally or figuratively, to show exposed to the eyes, to give evidence or proof of a thing, to show by words or teach. But Philip is asking this literally. So to show us with the eyes, show us what the Father looks like. And Yahushua is telling Philip, like, you've seen me, you've seen the Father, because he's the express image. He's the express image of Yahweh. So this is Hebrews 1:3. Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. And this is Yahushai. So let's go to this word express image. So this is G5481. Says it's character. Says from the same as G5482. A graver, the tool or the person, engraving, the figure stamped, an exact copy, express image. So Yahushai is the exact copy of Yahweh. So it looks like him in terms of looks. Being that Yahweh is the Father, Yahushai is the Son, and there's a saying that you look just like your father. This that, and he's also represents his character, his mannerisms. So not only is he the express image in looks, but also in character. He told his parents, that when he was 12, that he was about his father's business. he's about his father. He's about doing the work of his father. An austere man, a man of war. But in his looks, he looks exactly the same. So, a I'm going to continue. This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as the burning fire. So this is describing Yahweh, who's the Ancient of Days. He has no beginning and no end. And this here, his garment white as snow. His garment is white, and it's also representing his righteousness, his purity, and his hair, the hair of his head like the pure wool. Now you say, oh, this is describing, oh, his pure, you know, his pure wisdom, his pure righteousness in this. But once again, Daniel is seeing this. He's seeing a vision of this, and he's seeing like he has woolly hair. So I'm going to go down to the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow. The head of his hair is like the pure wool. So that word for pure, H354, literally going into clean and pure, like clean wool. The same way it's describing Yahushai. So let's go here first. This is Strong's H6015. Doing the same thing, the same kind of technique I was looking at the on the Greek. So it's a noun describing his hair. It's masculine, but anyway, I'm gonna just go into the word. So it's lucky. I gotta do something real quick. I can't. Sometimes it's hard for me to read the Assyrian script. Still trying to get used to it. Okay, Imar. Strong's H6015 Imar. And this is means wool. So, and this is the only place that it's used. So, but it has a root word. So we'll go to the root word for 86785, Samar. Which let me go and double check that. Yeah, Tazamar. And we'll go to the info, wool, whiteness, wool and garments. So it's describing his hair as being wool. And it says from an unused root, probably meaning to be shaggy for wool. So if you look at, the wool of a sheep is shaggy hair. When you look at Jake's hair, so-called Negro hair, a lot of it is real kinky, it's woolly, it's shaggy. And when my hair grows out, it's very, very shaggy. It's very curly. I don't have super tight curls, but I have, my hair will look like the sheep wool or the wool. So going into that word shaggy, and that's pretty much it for that. So going into describing his hair as woolly or shaggy, like clean wool. And from there, I'll just look up an image. which this they have apparently there's a disease that makes your hair look woolly, but what they're showing you is this is the hair. Look, they even got the picture of the depiction of Yahweh Shai right there. Let's see, like this. And you see they got the picture of Caesar. They don't even look like that. They don't even match. Like this woman here that has the afro. It even has the scripture. but all right. See that? Wool. 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 But that's how so-called Negro hair will look. So let me go here because it had a Wikipedia article. This is woolly hair from the Wikipedia. Woolly hair is a difficult to brush hair, usually present since birth, and typically most severe in childhood. It has extreme curls and kinks and occurs in non-black people and is distinct from Afro-textured hair. So this is a recent change that has been made to what woolly hair is, because now it's a defect or a part of a thing called Naxos syndrome, which you see here. Things happen to your hands and feet, and your hair changes its texture. And there's the word trichoscopy, which going back to the hair, what I was reading in Revelation. But anyway, the coin supposedly was termed in 1908, and then it was distinguished from Afro textured hair in 1936. So all these things like this is uh, to cause confusion and whatnot. So I'm gonna go to Afro textured hair. It says kinky hair, also known as Afro textured hair, is a human hair texture prevalent in indigenous populations of many regions with hot climates, mainly sub-Saharan Africa and many areas or some areas of Malaysia and Australia. Each strand of this hair grows in a repeating pattern of small contiguous kinks, tight twists, and sharp folds. These numerous kinks make kinky hair denser than straight wavy hair and curly hair types. So terminology, English adjectives such as woolly, kinky, or spiraled have been used in the mid 20th century to describe natural Afro textured hair. More formally ulotrichus. Ulotrichus. Let's remember that. Let's go back to this. I'm going to come back to that. Oops. Ulotrichus, curly haired, Romanized ulos, or crisp curly hair in ancient Greek, which is that. Thrix. Okay, back to hair. Back to Revelation 1 and 14. Refers to Afro textured hair. It's an antonym being Lyotrichus, smooth haired. So that whole Revelation 1 and 14, Daniel 7 and 9, they weren't describing smooth hair. In 1820, Jean Baptiste Bory de Saint Vincent, in 1825, introduced the scientific term ulotrichi for the purpose of human taxonomy, which basically, they study the different genetic traits and whatnot. They do that with animals, with people. They had that. I think that also would go into eugenics and whatnot. Basically studying what what traits they like. But anyway, focusing on this ulos. So I'm gonna do a search on this. It says I'm gonna go to the Wiktionary. It says ulos, Proto-Hellenic. Uh, which I didn't even. This first one didn't even tell me the word, but just this means baneful, destructive. Okay. The etymology 3 says Proto-Indo-European, hair or wool. Woolly or woolen. So going back to all this, they came up with this term called ulotrichosis or ulotriches, trichosis, something like that, Salaki. But it goes back to wool. So even though they try to use all these different words, like, oh, it doesn't mean this or whatever. Oh, woolly hair, this came out and that woolly hair means the hair disease. It doesn't mean that. But this here is describing woolly, like black people hair or so-called black people hair, kinky hair. So going to woolly, so I'm going to jump down, made of wool. Our hair is not literally made of wool, but it has similarities to it. Having a thick, soft texture as if made of wool. So there, having a thick, soft texture. Jake hair is very thick and soft, like wool. So describing that again, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So white. His color was white, as if it was wool. So that texture. But I believe that's it on that. Here we go. For the noun, it says it's obsolete, but it's not. Short, thick hair, especially when crisp and curled. So, hey, once again, the hair of so-called Negroes. And did all that. And this last one here is Arion, which is Eros, which is another word for wool. And it'll take me back to that same page that I just left from. So let me see if I can find that word on here for Arion. Nope. All right. Well, that just took me on a trip. Let's go to the word Eros. For lamb, the same root as the werewolves, weather, Aaron. So it's going back to wool. Hmm. Something on that. Hey, but Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashum, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashum, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom.